Hi everybody, it's me, Miss Liz. Today we are discussing Kitten's first full moon. The title of the story is Kitten's first full moon. Today we are going to discuss a little bit deeper the different story elements of Kitten's first full moon. So we've gotten to a lot of the story elements so far. We know setting, we know characters, we know how to figure out what the problem in the story is, and how to find the solution. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to figure out what's the big idea of the story. What's the main idea? How do we figure out what the author wants us to take away from the book? That's what the big idea is. What do you think the author wants us to take away from the book? So our author today is Kevin Hanks, or Hankies, I'm not really sure. Maybe Kevin Hanks. And he's also the illustrator, so he made the pictures. And we're going to decide what he wants us to take away from the story. But to do that, we first have to go over the other story elements. So let's start with the setting, where the story takes place. And we see from one of the first pages of the story, I'll make it bigger so you can see it. Kitten is here on some steps, which made me kind of think it was a back porch. And then as we go throughout the story, you see her walking out onto a sidewalk and onto some grass, which makes me kind of think it is a backyard. So I think the setting is Kitten's home. Let's move along here to our main characters. I'm just going to make a guess here. In most of the illustrations, or rather in all of the illustrations, there's one character, and that's Kitten. And I think she's the main character. She's the most important part. I mean, hey, the story is called Kitten's first full moon, not Charlie's first full moon or Bob's first full moon. It's Kitten's. So I'm going to go with Kitten as our main character. And then we get over to our problem. We talked a little bit about the problem in Leo the Late Bloomer. Our problem here, what is she doing? What is going on with Kitten here? What is she reaching for? What's she reaching for, friends? Yeah, she's reaching for the moon. She's trying to get the moon because she thinks what? What does she think? She thinks that the moon is a saucer filled with milk for her to eat. And I don't know if she's ever really going to be able to reach the moon. Friends, can you reach out and grab the moon? No way. You could pretend to, but you're never going to catch it. It's very far away. And then we figure out, in the end, the solution was that Kitten's bowl of milk was right there waiting for her at home. There we are. Look at Kitten. And I love this illustration too because Kitten just looks so perfectly content. She traveled all around the backyard just to figure out that her saucer of milk was sitting right there, and it definitely wasn't up in the sky. So now we've made it to our big idea. What our author wants us to take away, what we can learn from the story is the big idea. And I think the first one is kind of obvious, and maybe it's a little bit silly too. And I think it's what Kitten learned. And Kitten learned that the moon was not a saucer of milk, right? She couldn't grab it. She kept falling down and hurting herself. But there's something else too that I think is really important in the story that the author wants us to take away. Kitten goes through all this trouble to go and find herself a saucer of milk that's way, way far away. And though she does never give up and try really, really hard, it turned out that the saucer of milk was there waiting for her at home the whole time. What do you think about when you hear that, friends, or when you read that in the story? She went all this way to try and find something, to try and grab something, and it was waiting for her at home the whole time. It was right there waiting for her at home. We're going to talk about this a little bit tomorrow in class, but I really want you to think about that. It was right there waiting for her when she got home. How does that make you feel? And how do you think that makes Kitten feel when she realizes that it was there all along? Hmm. That's a good one. That's a good wondering question. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, okay, friends? Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see everybody in school. Bye bye.